I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Chuck Maples,
Here.
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 Here. Here.
Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? Are there any additions to agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as read?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as read.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the December 3rd meeting. Everybody had a chance to read those. Okay. Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve the minutes from the December 3rd meeting?
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from December 3rd meeting.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on to for the bills. We have deposits in the amount of $310,147.05. Accounts payable in the amount of $78,006.49. Transmittals in the amount of, $23,093.72. And payroll in the amount of $43,072.28. Questions? Do I have a motion to go ahead and approve and pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on. Is there any correspondence? You two are on the agenda, so we have no items from the public. Council comments?
No.
Hey, reports from departments, and we'll start off with the town hall.
I'm sorry,
You're up for town hall.
Okay.
And what we have is Christmas holiday hours.
we were discussing and, looking at some other municipalities, what their hours are gonna be next week. And we were wanting to get okay if we have a half day, so till 1 o'clock on Wednesday, off Thursday and
Well, Thursday you have off.
Thursday we have, yeah, the holiday.
Thursday is a holiday.
And two of you have Friday off anyway, so.
But this would be department wide. This would be for the water and sewer guys.
Yeah.
They would have somebody on call. The only ones that would be working is probably the police department. Well, not probably, but the police department.
It's not optional.
Not probably, but they will be working.
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't.
Yeah, we just need to, so we can get this posted as soon as possible, so everybody knows.
You need an emotion?
Yeah, I would.
I'd make the motion for the half day Wednesday off Thursday and Friday. I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll move on to Civic Plus Town website.
So Civic Plus, that's who we have our town website. Um. Currently have a Drupal 7. I really don't understand what that means. It's the software that is out of date. And so they are migrating us to a new server website. With that, comes an increase in price. So our contract is through July of 26. So when we sign the new contract, it will go from July 26 to July 27. It is going up about $750. Right now, it's currently at $38,800. And it's gonna go up to $4,600. With that, though, our website is getting improved dramatically. Brenda and I have had a couple meetings with them. the user friendly, it's gonna be a lot easier for the user. It's gonna look better. It's easier for us to navigate. And we're also gonna have more connection with the public, like we'll be able to send out emergency alerts through text and emails. Should people sign up for that? We get 3 personal trainings to operate it, and if we get it approved tonight, they'll start mid-January migrating our website, and it will be fully live mid-April.
So are the first 2 months at the same price or at what we've already paid? Well, it seemed like we use the website more and more now. Emery's put a bunch of updates on there that we can get in. I mean, if you want to follow them, you can get in and see that.
Put on, people will start following.
Yeah, I agree, Brenda. I agree 100%. You know, I mean, you can check in on the sewer project up there, on where they're at, what they've got left to do and.
We're getting 12 modules is what they call it with this migration. And there's 22 that you can add in. And I was telling Henry that there's one that we can add in later for like bids and stuff that he's pretty interested in. And that will be an additional charge of $350, but we don't have to do that right now, but in the future.
For each extra.
For
module.
each extra module, so the bids at some point, we're gonna get in there,
So how much for the extra module?
350. Yeah. And that's a year, for the year, it's not like a monthly, it's just going on. But there's a lot of meetings.
Well, we've had complaints in the past that this one is not user friendly. I don't have any trouble with it, but. So, and you think this one will be better?
I think the public will like it a lot better. It's gonna scroll through things. So when it scrolls, you can just click on it and see what you want. I think that's more what people are used to. They don't wanna go search for things, they just wanna see it. And this is gonna give us that capability.
So it's up to you guys.
I don't see a problem with it.
I don't either.
Could do it.
Where we're headed with everything, so.
Yes, sir.
Pardon my possible ignorance, but is this council meeting broadcast live right now?
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering if that would be part of this.
No, this has been broadcasted live. It has been since I've been mayor. It's on YouTube.
Since I'm always there,
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, and we do get questions from people that sit home and watch it.
You can watch the video on our website.
And everything we do now will be transferred over to the new site too.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to go ahead and purchase it.
I have a motion to go ahead and go with the new Civic Plus website contract, which we won't get into until, well, we'll have to have it signed by July 1st of 2026. So. Well, I have a second.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, we'll move on to Mountain West. We are still working on the contract. Our attorney on the lease agreement, our attorney sent back a response and I forwarded it on up to Alicia and she has it and they're going over that. But what we need to decide on is, we told them we'd give a yay or a nay on this tower. On what we want to, how we want to pursue it. We want to move forward with the new tower or.
I don't really think we have much of a choice, do we? By the sounds of it?
You know,
And
this
where
tower
you
could
gonna-
let us down at any moment. You're
Right, and where are you gonna find somebody else that's willing to pay for more than half of it? Kind of the way I look at it.
Did they get it resolved that we own the tower when it's?
That is one of the things she's working on in the contract or in the lease agreement. And I believe that one is fixed. Is that correct? Where it says the tower would belong to you, but it can't belong to them because we gotta have it for other things.
Yeah,
So if they happen to leave, so that part is, there was one other little thing that she was running by some of her people in the contract, in the lease agreement.
So it will be theirs unless they leave, then it's ours. Is that what you're saying?
No, we will pay for the tower. They'll pay to put it up. Okay,
Yeah,
and then they're gonna lease off to put their product on their tower.
okay.
Okay, but we will have all of our product on the tower too. We'll have water, the police department. What else is on there?
Relay.
Fire is on it. I mean, there's a lot on that tower.
Microwave, the hot pool, the cameras on it.
Yeah, so, but am I right in all this? Yeah, we can't hear you. Are you muted?
Sorry, guys, I joined in late. I'm not sure what you're referencing. I apologize.
You're fine. We were just talking about the tower and
Sure.
and how it will become the city's once it's up. But you guys will be leasing it from us.
Sorry about that. I think I got my.
Yeah.
Apologize. Yes, that is correct. You would maintain ownership. We would lease from the town for our equipment to go on it. And that was just a mix up on that original agreement I sent. So we'll get that edited and fixed for you once we get it finalized.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is to get this in place now so you can get it ordered and up.
Correct.
If the council so choose to do. And after reading everything and talking with people and I think the standalone tower is the way to go. That would be option 2, correct?
Correct.
Which is actually cheaper than option 1. So I just looking for.
And that is the recommendation from our engineering department,
Oh, is that?
the option 2, the standalone.
So. The total cost is $38,856.89.
Correct. Yes.
24,496.89, correct?
Yeah, that would be our portion.
Yes, sir.
So where do we go from here?
We need it.
The only thing that will be much different is it's a little bigger footprint than what we have now. I had somebody say that was good because then John can't park more junk underneath it. That was what was said to me.
It was out there.
But anyway, my opinion is we need to move forward with it. Go ahead and put this tower up.
I'd make that motion to move ahead with it.
And purchase the standalone tower and the labor cost to put it up of $38,856.89.
Yes. Yes.
The motion on the table, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Could you guys, put this, some sort of agreement together, Alicia, so,
Yes.
and have a place for you guys to sign and for us to sign?
Yes, I'll be happy to. I'll get that done. Do you
Since it
want
was
us for notary on it or a signature and witness? Okay.
Yes, that's fine. That
Okay.
would be fine. And then we can get it signed and that way we'll have a copy and you guys will have a copy. I don't think there'll be an issue, but this way it's resolved if there is, so.
Okay. Thank you so
Okay.
much. We look forward to
All
working
right.
with you. All get that typed up and sent.
On this, are you guys gonna purchase it or is the tower gonna send us the bill? How's this gonna go? Do you know yet?
I guess if the town has a preference, we can do whichever is your preference on that. We can purchase it and invoice you for all of the materials and send an itemized list, or we can have things billed directly to you. And Tim, I might be speaking out of turn. Tim does most of our procurement, so.
Yeah, the easiest way to get this all done, just because we're going to be pulling objects from various locations to get everything running, would be just for us to secure the materials and then have it billed back too. Wouldn't be clear about the timing, but we already have the agreement with the vendor that quoted this out. And that is a company that we work with on all of our tower build stuff. So we would just put the order in with them and put it under our terms account, and then turn around and rebuild the town for it.
Will that work for you, treasurer?
Yes.
Okay, that would be great then.
Okay.
That would be fine. Okay,
Perfect.
okay, we'll look forward to seeing, we'll get the lease agreement figured out. Plus you need one for the water tower too. So,
Yes, we'll have 3 things coming your way.
okay,
And the way the wind is blowing, we may need it as soon as in the morning.
Yeah.
We'll be laying on the
Yeah.
ground.
Yes, we
Tell
are
me
well
about it.
aware. We've
Yeah.
had some struggles with the wind,
Mhm.
so. Thank
okay,
you.
thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Yep,
You guys
bye-bye.
have a good evening.
You as well.
Hey, is that all for any other business for the town hall? We'll move on to the police department.
Mr. Mayor, Council. So first thing on my agenda tonight is Teresa from Must Love Dog Sanctuary is here to pitch an idea for basically a covered seating area, I believe it is, up at the dog park. But if you'd like to come up and join me, you can describe
Please
what
do.
you're wanting to do.
Okay. So just to give you some by way of introduction, I started this a couple of years ago. As you can see from the first page, it's real, okay? The IRS has approved this in 2023 in the summer, and that was based on my own experience with, you weren't the chief then, it was Mike Morris. And he had a dog and he didn't know what really to do with it because it was abandoned. And I thought, oh, I might adopt that dog. But my dog didn't like it. And so I offered to pay for the spaying of that dog. And we got it to a person. That person did not take me up on my offer. And the dog came back a month later pregnant. And I said, we got to do something about this. I saw the shelter. I thought it needed some improvement.
Some updating and improvement.
Yeah,
Yes, repairs.
And we talked about that. And there I went. You know, I set it up with the state of Wyoming, got it certified with the IRS, and started walking around with the tin cup asking for money. And people are so generous here. I could not believe it. First year, we were able to take care of 5 dogs. Total medical care, spay, neuter, shots, the whole 9 yards. And in one case, a very serious situation where a dog was completely abused. The police department took custody of it, and it needed some big surgery and paid for that. And that dog is very happy now with a loving family. So that's really what I'm all about is paying for the medical care, supporting the police department and providing comfort items, food, toys, beds. We put in ballistic quality beds in the shelter. So where we are right now, as you can see from the second page, is we had a very successful fundraising effort after talking to our new chief, John Moore, and talking about maybe a new shelter. He said, well, maybe about if you could give us $20,000. And I thought, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much money. And the truth is, talked to some folks at Old Baldy Club. We did the Embrace the Valley, $20,000. Boom, there it is. And so we're going to provide that to support the brand new shelter. In the meantime, money's rolling in. And in fact, just today, I got a $500 check from a lady who is going to be a veterinary here in town. She is getting her license. She's already certified in the state of Colorado, but they're moving here and she wants her license in Wyoming and she's going to operate a mobile vet service, which is kind of cool. And that said, she just sent me this money and that's been happening a lot. I have 2 $500 checks in the last 3 days.
Wow.
So I know, and these haven't been deposited yet. So those are going to be inclusive to the money that you see. All right. And if anybody ever needs to look at the books, I am more than welcome to, show off. 100% of everything does. I do not charge for my shoe leather, my gas, my time, my postage, because I have to send letters. You give me money, I've got to send an IRS approved letter. So all of that is on me. Everything that comes in goes to the dogs. So where we're going is, well, what I would like to propose, and this is hardly fleshed out because I'm not a construction engineer. There are much more qualified people to do that kind of thing. But several people that I know who care and who have donated said that they would like to see a shaded seating area over in the dog park. Having been there myself, they could use one. We're going to have the new shelter right by there to attract volunteers, to attract use. I think that would be really a good thing as a next project. The example that I provided you is hardly, that's not the right answer, okay? But I'd like the size, maybe 11 by 20, 12 by 20, something around that size that is super hardened. Obviously, after a day like today, we do not want to buy something cheap. And so I would defer to those of you who know these things.
All on your shoulders, big guy.
To help me
Yeah.
kind of come up with what does it look like? I'm thinking money wise. All right, we could gold plate this to death, okay? Because I was looking, you could start with a $250 Home Depot special and go all the way up to $30,000. I don't think that's, somewhere in between is the right answer. Somewhere between 6 and 10, I think is the right answer. And I think you can get the money for that. So that is what this is. Fact finding right now. This is not a proposal. This is what I want you to bless. I'm not building anything. Y'all are going to build it. I write the checks and that's it. So I just hope that you would work with me on this project or assign somebody to work with me on this project because I think it would be good.
So, and this is going to go in the dog walking area, correct?
Yes, sir.
And she has already met with Emery and they discussed some about the town guys
A little bit.
doing some of the construction and
Yeah.
he was open to the idea. And the reason she's here, the way her nonprofit is set up, is it's set up to support the police department. So the police department has to be
Completely.
in favor of doing this project for her to be able to use the nonprofit funds for it.
And we're talking surrendered and abandoned dogs, not your pets. I get phone calls, it seems like every week. Can you help my pet? No, can't do that. Not with the money that is donated, so it is very specific. It is Carbon County wide. So if there are other municipalities that can benefit from what we're doing, that's affordable to us. So, I just looking for your blessing and help and.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I don't have a problem with it. I think we just need to build something that will go with the area
Sure.
and withstand what we had today all day,
Right on. Yeah.
and the picture of this one, it's gorgeous, but I don't think that would withstand what we had today.
Agree. Well, and there's hurricane brackets and things like that we gotta consider in this, just on the cursory look I took. So, y'all know, you have forgotten more about construction than I will ever know in my lifetime. So just, help me kind of splash it out.
Yeah.
What's it gonna cost? I'll write the check.
Up to you guys.
No, I think it's a great
I think it's
idea.
good.
Okay.
I would entertain a motion to move forward with this and support police department and what do you call yourself?
Must Love Dog Sanctuary.
Okay, Let's Love Dog Sanctuary.
Yeah, it was a long thing, but I only gave it 10 minutes of thought.
But, moving forward and, because we are working on the new dog kennel area out there and, but, I'll need a motion on this.
I'd make a motion to move ahead with the Must Love Dog Sanctuary.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion?
So is my point of contact Emery?
Emery and John, I would go to John first.
Okay, John, you're the boss. Tell me what to do and I'll just put the
Okay.
key in my back, wind me up and I'll go.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Guy.
Opposed? Okay, all right, we'll move forward with it.
Thank you.
What we can come up with.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, I would go to John since you're working directly with the police department.
Yes, sir.
And, who he solicits. I'm sure it'll be Emery. Throw everything in Emery.
For everything I said.
No, he just up the hall from John, so.
We have two keys that we put in Emery's back.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you all. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, John.
All right, thank you. The next item on my agenda is for Motorola. This is something that we started talking about a couple months ago with our mobile repeaters and the new portables we've gotten under the grant. I have a UHF to be able to talk to them in the vehicles. So this is the quote to get all that installed. It comes to $10,310.52 to get the 12 portables UHF capable. And this also includes them adding in Wi-Fi connectivity. So we'll be able to talk on WyoLink. Since Saratoga is mostly a dead area for WyoLink, we'll be able to do it over wireless. It's in our vehicles now. 100% of this will be covered by the 2023 SHSP Homeland Security Grant that had it had expired and I got a 6-month extension to help pay for some of these projects that we were trying to get done on it that never got done in time. And so I'm just looking for approval to pay them because they're actually coming down tomorrow. They realized that they had forgot to send us the quote for it till today.
So that grant will pay for the whole 10,300.
Yeah, I have about $36,000 in that grant that I'm working off of. And so this 10,000 will come out of that. And it should make it so that hopefully we can talk to dispatch way better than we are right now.
Yeah. Intermittent right now.
Yeah, they're having all sorts of problems with the simulcast and the county shut off all the conventional that we had been using.
Is this a one-time deal or will there be yearly?
It's just a one-time cost. This part's one time.
Anything to do with better communications, I would say is a good thing.
Well, we basically approved it once, just then send the quote.
Right.
And,
So I think at the time I knew it was gonna be around 10,000. I just didn't have the exact numbers.
they were supposed to be down in, November. They didn't make it. We talked to them on Monday, John and I did, and, they got right on it. They'll be down here tomorrow. So,
So do we need to approve it again?
what's that?
You said we've already approved it once. Do we need
But
to?
we haven't approved the exact invoice amount.
Exact invoice. This is the exact invoice. This come in. So. We probably do need to approve to pay this once they get it done. So, chair would take a motion.
I'd make a motion to go ahead with this purchase for the Motorola update.
$10,310.52.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's reimbursable. We'll just send it in and,
yeah. Back.
it's more work for the treasurer, but. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you. And I actually have one more thing that's not on my agenda. I don't have an actual quote yet. But we've gotten everything completed for hiring Brianna Fall as a part-time officer done. I've got her sized. We are gonna have to buy her a ballistic vest. We do not have anything that's gonna fit her or work for a female. So I don't have the exact quote. My person I'll be ordering it from is Rock Solid. And he is estimating it to come to $1,360. So I'm looking just for an approval of spending up to $1,500 for her vest. And then I'm trying to get us back into the vest grant that we participated in before, which will actually pay us back 50% of that cost.
Questions? Do I have a motion to go ahead and purchase this vest or for approximately $1,500? Could be less than that.
That 1,500 should be the high side.
I'd make a motion to purchase a vest for $1,500 or less.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
All right, thank you. And just a quick update, I think we'd had all of our fleet systems installed by the last meeting, the dash cams on the cars, those are up and going, working well. We do have those cameras that we added for the hot pool will be installed on the 29th. Pineco will be down installing those. We've already covered the quote and cost of all those is already done and paid for, I believe. I think we already sent them a check for that. And otherwise, we're just planning extra coverage for Christmas and New Year's, and everything else is going well.
Any questions for John? Hey,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Okay, we'll move on to the recreation department.
Evening, gentlemen.
Howdy.
Okay, so I think first order of business I have is the new Dolphin Wave 80 commercial robotic pool vacuum. So at the end of our last pool season, I'd say probably 2 weeks before we closed down, our existing vacuum just kind of took a turn for the worse. I tried to fix it. By the end of the season, it was not working at all.
Do you have the money in the budget to cover that?
Not probably the full amount. So it'll probably the best bet would be to have a budget amendment for it.
Okay. This is a pretty good one.
I think so, and I bounced it off Emery.
It's on sale right now, it's $500 off.
Yeah.
Well, if we're gonna have a pool, we gotta have a vacuum to clean it, so. What's the council think?
It's like you said, if we're gonna have a pool, we gotta have a vacuum to clean it.
How much you got left in your budget?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. You know, if I put it in this budget, it'd probably have to come out partially of that, and then maybe look for what we have left in the Rec 2 grant from the school district.
You do have 1,100 some odd cents from the Wyoming Community Gas, so you'd only be short like $800. You do have $2,000 remaining still of another line item that for the capital equipment, not the capital equipment, but the capital improvements. And so, you know, it could be split that way if you wanted to spend your biogas, community gas money on it. So it'd just be a little.
So possibly we have the budget for that one. Okay.
I'd make a motion to move ahead with the purchase of it. $1,999.
I have a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Okay, this next one might hurt a little bit.
They always.
A lot.
This is for the potential of new pool covers. These kind of covers will first insulated covers, and it will go on and off every day after closing time. We think that it'll be huge for us maintaining temperature wise. And also with the demand that it's causing the pump to do on the well of the hot pool.
And I had a discussion with Carter and Emery about this and, you know, we had trouble with the hot pool last year, pulling it down. The temperature in the hot pool dropped, but the not so hot hot pool got hotter and we could possibly cause further damage.
Well, so when we're pumping on that well to the hot pool hard enough that it's affecting what's actually percolating up into the big pool, I think that's a pretty heavy demand. And we're also causing that not so hot pool to be really hot, but we're discharging an extreme amount of volume of hot water in there. This isn't a guaranteed fix for that, but to even be able to consider, be able to downsize the pump that we use on the hot pools, these would have to be part of that solution. When we're pull the temperature data, we're getting heat sucking off the pool in the middle of the night. We're looking pretty badly, and then we're struggling to recover from that. Sometimes taking 2 days to get kind of back up to where we want. We had Carter took the temperatures every day, and we graphed them against the highs and lows, and that's what we're seeing is that struggle to make recover after those cold nights. And heat exchangers have a limited amount of, like, there's a cost of diminishing returns. Like, there's a really good chance that 4-inch pump we're shoving through there right now is probably more water than use. But I don't think we can, without the covers, I don't think it's feasible to entertain the fact that we can go from a 4 down to it. And hopefully keep the hot pool where it normally is and keep it not so hot cooler.
What the covers on it about, what do you think will gain temperature wise roughly? You know,
well, you'd be able to at least maintain. So you go into the evening where you want to be, and then we're not going to take the big hit through the middle of the night.
correct?
And then you're not spending the next 4 hours after the cold morning or even 2 days trying to recover from that big loss.
On this, are these covers like, if we have rain and the pool's closed, they'll be on, correct?
Yeah, it'll be on every time.
I mean,
we're
but
not open.
it doesn't hurt the covers.
No.
Rain,
No.
stuff like that.
The biggest thing that hurts is if you start abusing them really bad, they'll get a hole in them and they'll get kind of waterlogged and get really heavy. They do float, they are insulated, they're made to fit. They send in your dimensions and they cut and sew your stairs out and everything.
In the season, they becomes cut off, then you store it somewhere or what?
Yeah, you roll it. So the big cost that initially, so say these covers go derelict in 7-8 years, we have to get new ones. We wouldn't have to rebuy those stainless reels. That's what 80-60% of the cost is the stainless reels. The reason we put those in there is we've used aluminum reels and cheaper reels in the past. They end up kinking in the middle or breaking. They don't wheel around well. Stainless ones, in my experience, have worked and move way better because you got to move them out of the way. You got to move up.
So it's not attached to the end of the pool where
No.
It's not in the way.
So every time we open, it'll get reeled up and then set aside somewhere. Then when we close, it'll get put back out and reeled back out.
Yeah. Then in the wintertime, reel them up, let them dry good, and then you cover them up. We always tarp them.
Maintaining temp would be good on that pool, I think.
Yeah, it was interesting to see with the temperatures that didn't, the amount of sunlight each day. And like when it was smoky for a week or so, it's crazy how much the temperature of the pool was affected by it.
23,096.84.
So much for you getting paid next week.
I didn't get a cover.
But we'll have a pool cover.
I think we need it.
I think it would be easier just.
That was one of the biggest
complaints
all summer.
It was.
Pool temperatures.
You're exactly right. The girls would get in it for their morning aerobics and it was a little chilly. Yeah.
And they're pretty. Pools are very temperamental with like custom. You'd be surprised at how people can feel a degree and a half. Pretty wild, like we had ours at 84, they got down to 80. I mean, it's not gonna be a miracle cure, I think, every single. But the heat exchangers without getting a boiler and preheating the water prior to it going into the heat exchanger, that amount of heat we can transfer is tapped out. If we have any hope of improving our pool temp, this is one option to possibly improve it.
It's probably the cheapest option we can look at.
Yeah, you can get into a boiler, you know, good with everything installed for $85.
And then we have to pay for propane, or do they work off natural gas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't wanna sell this as like,
A guarantee.
yeah.
A miracle cure.
6 every day.
Right.
Yeah, right.
This is our best hope of maintaining comfortable level.
I've seen them mitigate cool weather.
We'll know in a year whether it works.
That's right.
Yes. You get you both, you get paid for it.
Or we'll be paying for a boiler.
You're not worth that much.
I know this will probably take a budget amendment. Was there any left in the pool? In the impact funds? We did the deck work.
Oh, that was all special purpose tag.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, which, I mean, there is some left.
Will it work? Maybe, no?
I would prefer to not do that.
Okay.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Stretch it thin.
Well, I think we can afford it. It's just changing the budget. We got 6 months to do, before we have to do that. So. What's the town so choose to do? Council so choose to do?
I'm okay with it.
What's that?
Said I'm good with it.
Yeah. You make a motion?
Nope.
Somebody make a motion.
I'd make the motion to purchase the pool cover for $23,096.84.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, you can purchase sit down with Karina first. And let's get this worked out, so she knows what's going on,
Perfect.
okay?
Absolutely.
All right.
Other than that, I guess we're just about to get even busier over at the rec department. Volleyball registration's currently active. We got middle school boys basketball now. Girls just finished up. We have the farmers market in full swing. They have, it looks like 4 dates left for the winter time. Anybody wants that information, we have it on our Facebook.
Okay.
And it's worth noting that the girls did win the championship.
They did. The middle school girls are conference champions.
All right.
Absolutely are.
Yeah. Do they play all their games in there?
No, they've only a few. It's mostly practice. They ended, I think, last Saturday, and boys have already started
Okay.
Monday.
Things working good over there?
Great.
Okay.
Everything's great.
How's your new hand?
Still great.
Okay.
Couldn't be more grateful.
All right.
Any other questions?
No.
Thank
Thank you for what you did.
Further.
Okay, we'll move on to, I skipped the fire department, but we have no report from them tonight.
I think they're just finalizing their food drive. They generally picked up the food from the schools today. Ready to sort it all out and out to families in the community.
Okay, well, I talked to the chief today, but he didn't tell me that. Okay, all right, thanks, Carter. Okay, we'll move on to Mr. Penner. You have the floor, Department of Public Works.
Thank you, John. I'm glad. Kind of before I get going with it being the end of the year, if you guys don't mind, could I say a couple of things?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am not Patrick Mahomes. This is like the biggest platform I have, so. So with this being the last council meeting of 2025, I wanted to take the time to say a couple things. It's been a successful year. We've completed projects, pinched timelines, made mistakes, and learned a lot. And due to this reality, I've received several compliments about my performance, which I greatly appreciate, and it means an immense amount to me. But I've been searching my heart a little bit lately, and I feel very convicted about making sure I'm taking these compliments and putting the praise where it belongs. That the people who are supporting me are recognized and appreciated for the roles in this, I guess you could call production. So that to that end, I would say thank you to all of you. We could not do this without you. We could not do it without your support and your trust for us to do these things. I'm so appreciative of my crew, my two foremen, Chuck McVeigh and Eugene Stubbs, our hands, Chris Powell, Brandon Mostelski, Jason Sharp, and Ryan Threlkill. I love going out and working and sweating with the guys. It's productive and entertaining. I am appreciative and thankful for all of you, the team we have here at Town Hall. It has been a blessing, and I'd like to thank the community. Since me and my family have moved here 2.5 years ago, this place has been good to us. You've been welcoming, you've been kind, you've accepted us like family. This place feels like home. I'd like to thank the good Lord, for he knows I've tried to mess this up more times than I can count. And he's been gracious to me beyond measure. And lastly, I'd like to thank my wife. She's my rock. She's been with me through thick and thin, followed me over to a new place away from home, knowing that that's what we are supposed to do. She loves and supports me and keeps me in line. In closing, I am grateful to all of you, and I am grateful for this place.
Well, thank you. For what you do.
Yes,
You
sir.
guys do.
I wanted to say that before we continue. It might have been awkward after.
I tell everyone I'll put our front four here, but out there up against any in the state and know that we're gonna come out ahead.
Okay, now on to business. So I kind of delivered a memo. I hope all of you got it. I emailed it, and delivered a couple about what could be, I believe, an advantageous property purchase for us. You know, it has come up historically, the idea of moving the public works facility from where it's at to a different location and opening up that property for a use that makes more sense to the community, given its location. There are not a lot of properties that have come up for sale that could suit what we need public works wise, or be properly zoned and in the right place to be a long-term solution. Wouldn't want to move anywhere. We're just exasperating the issue, and we got to move again in like another 30 years. So this piece of property is currently owned by Danny McGuire, and he is looking to retire and would like to sell it. The details of the property are, it's about 2.3 acres. There's a sewer service, there's a water service. Upon closing, it'd be bare. We could construct a facility that was efficient, that would meet our needs, and it's a long-term solution. Another caveat, it's not in the floodplain. You know, there's a lot of property over on that side of the town that is. So that's a significant benefit to us. Currently, the facilities that we have, and I'm sure most of you are aware, they are at the point where we need to either think about an exit strategy or think about an investment strategy. Roofs leak, there's asbestos in one, is basically abandoned. It's not useful for anything. The shop is, you know, the interior is, I don't want to say rotted, but dilapidated significantly. We got steel members that are rusted through. We got insulation that's blackened from welding smoke. It's hard to see. And overall, we just don't have enough space. We got things stuffed in every nook and corner that we can. So to that end, I'd like to pursue this if you guys are interested in doing that. Obviously, the option is to just tell me to make it work with what you got. Like, I get that too. This can always be an arguable topic for sure. Given if we do try to proceed, there's two funding ways to go. I think we could either purchase this with cash now, or we can finance the initial purchase through USDA and then look at refinancing the whole package when we go to build a facility. And then when that's done, we can look at what cash we got. We can pay some of that down, pay it off, et cetera. But given the economic state of things and our inability to go out and just accrue cash if we need it is really limited, I am always a proponent of staying cash on heavy until we are done working through a process. Also, we have a significant amount of property throughout town, some that I think is pretty disadvantageous to us that we're not going to do anything with. And I would suggest possibly looking at a couple of those lots and getting them listed to maybe recoup some of the cost of spending, buying this property. The two in question would be up off of Bridge Street. We have 2 city blocks there north of 9th and then a few lots below that. Would suggest getting those 2 that directly above Bridge Street appraised and see what we'd be looking at. And then have a conversation about possibly listing those. And I think regardless of whether or not we even move with this, that's something we should look at doing. I don't see with the way they're zoned that we would ever get into the development of those properties, especially when we have significant other properties. But those are also properties that don't need significant infrastructure extensions to get developed. So I think they're actually sellable, even though they're not useful to us. So initial thoughts, reactions. We brought tomatoes.
You know, really the town, out of all the property we have no place to go with that type of. Luckily, we can't put this, I guess we could on a bridge. But
No, we take, I mean, really heavy. If you look at the zoning, we need to be light industrial or at a minimum highway business.
No. And we need, definitely need more room. You know, we gave up that half of the road right away over there, which, I mean, those people have the right to use that for access. So that cut us off a lot of property that we normally stored stuff on and so.
Is this value or this number on here, is that an appraised value or is that just a?
No, that's the verbal conversation value as a part of the contingency and the off. We need to have things like the environmental and the appraisal in on that paperwork to ensure that we're wisely spending and that we're not accruing a financial liability.
And the stuff we sell, if we get appraised by the lot, because if we sell it by the lot, we're gonna make more money than if we sell it in one chunk, I think.
Yeah, and that's all totally up to you how because we'll put out an RFP for that. We could put out separate ones for lots 1 and 2, 3 and 4. We don't have to sell it as a big chunk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever you guys want to do there, I just think that's some steps we could take.
Some of the land we have is so split up. For instance, is there 4 lots in there between him and Bennett? 3 lots between you and Donnie Bennett.
Yeah.
You know, what are we gonna do with 3 lots? I mean,
In retail business.
Retail business.
yeah, and it's retail business. I mean, we could get something in there. Somebody could put it. And it's something that, to me, that's where we need to look at, places like that. And, one block we own is all retail business, correct?
Though half of it is, and then the other half is residential.
Yeah.
Oh, is
It's
that
split on the alley, yeah.
And what are we gonna do with residential?
Yeah,
Yeah.
retail business. I mean,
Stack dirt there, can't.
so, I mean, I think that's some of the things we need to sit and look at and discuss, but I'm in favor of moving forward with this. I
am too, but I would like to see an appraisal and I'd also like to see a study, like on the soil and stuff because of the way that's been used.
Yeah,
I don't want to inherit a huge cleanup.
knew.
100% agree. And that's, you get a copy of it? Okay. Yeah. And so that is, and I talked to council about this. Like if you look in the memo, we had to move to a different firm because conflict of interest. Those would all be in there to get completed before we would, and we'd have a chance to review those before we close. I agree. And the phase 2 environmental, which involves the soil sampling and all that jazz, DEQ says that they can do that for us through their Brownsfield grant. I'm just trying to nail down a timeline. If that timeline is like feet dragging, we don't know when it is. I got a couple other firms we can look at privately to do that. And get some cost options there. But we do, I think we owe the citizens and that in-depth look at the environmental. And USDA, when we go and finance it, or even if we buy it now and then finance the facility, that's a big boo-boo to them if we start constructing and they go to do an environmental with their loan and they pull something big, it could throw the whole thing off on the deal. So that's I think non-negotiable part of the process.
Yeah.
Is the appraisal and environmental.
Would that building be usable or?
In the verbal conversations, we get bare land when we're done. I think it's old and worn out. We kind of be doing the same thing over again if we take that. So. But if we're interested in moving forward with it, I would say there's kind of that next steps table on the end, and we could go either route. So if you guys, I say make a motion to move forward with the financing next steps, I'll get council to draft up that offer with those contingencies in it. Get those contingency executions lined out. Regardless of either way we go, we need to do a public hearing on this land purchase. So we can do that at the next meeting. Could do it at the meeting after that. That is up to you guys. You want to set that if we move forward.
Is there enough time if we move forward to the next council meeting?
There is, publishing wise, when I was looking at it. It's up to you guys.
Plenty of time.
Pretty good. I mean, everyone, I don't know how much people would be paying attention. It's the holidays. I want to be as absolutely transparent as we can.
I would definitely like to move forward with it and at least take a good hard look
Yeah, I agree.
and see what we can come up with. I mean, we're running out of room. This is property over here that doesn't need to have it on it. River.
We would want to maintain probably a little bit of an easement on that end towards the road, just for heaven forbid we had to go back to a treatment plant, we could put in an infiltration gallery for 3 pumps or something. And then once we're there, we can pump that water wherever we need to put a treatment plant.
And something to think about between the cash purchase and financing, yeah. I mean, we have the money to pay for it, but that would really,
What's the percentage rate if we borrow?
So we're running about 0.7 above what we're making on investment is about how USDA's been running right now. So it's not a huge, the borrowing penalty is not huge. But if I don't think we can take all the money that we have on hand to build a facility. So if we end up borrowing, build the facility, that's all gonna be kind of a long, slow process. So I just, might take a couple years from start A to finish. And who knows what's gonna happen outside of this project in that amount of time. And we don't have the authority to walk down to the bank and pull out a line of credit. So just to figure out where we're sitting, it's all said and done and buttoned up. And if we're sitting good, we'll just make a big fat payment, pay it down, pay it off.
So if we go to someone to sell some of these properties, we can invest that back into this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, which is what I would suggest we do.
Do we have any idea about what those properties that you'd sell are worth? No.
No, I've heard that lots are in town are going anywhere from 30 to 35, and I don't know.
And you're gonna be in those retail business areas, I think you're gonna be purchasing clientele is gonna be kind of limited to somebody who has a development idea. And if they really have a good idea, they're more excited about paying. I think they're gonna be slow to sell.
That's where selling them separately, I think he'll come out because there's enough builders in town that are looking for a place to build specs house.
So, I mean, that's something that we just need to say yay or nay about moving forward with this. And if we move forward, then we can discuss properties we want to sell. Or,
I'll make a motion to move forward with what we got and see where we're at
I'd second it.
on purchasing it.
any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, Emery.
So is that, are we leaning towards the financing side then?
Are you saying we're coming out? Cause we're making what, 5% on our YO?
No, 3 foot. So right now, like USD is like 4.4 something, I think is where they're at, and we're making 3.87. 3.98, so half a point to 0.6 of a point. That's what the borrowing penalty would be.
No.
That's
Less
where
than
we're
a
at.
percent.
I was leaning towards the financing, but because we can always pay that down. There's no penalty for
No, I specifically asked
payment.
that there's no
Yeah.
prepayment. And then I had a couple more questions about timelines and stuff that I'm getting back with Lillian on. And if there's any huge thing that differs from this, I'll get back with you as soon as I can with a special meeting. But this is the ban process that when you're working with USDA, like it takes a long time. So we'll have one attorney kind of wrapped up an offer with the contingencies. We'll get the environmental lined out, get the appraisal lined out. And then we can set the public hearing date, what did we decide we want to do there?
I don't think we have enough time. I think
Second meeting in January
Yeah.
I think that's
the second meeting would be better.
okay.
Again, that way,
We can get it out good, like people, so if we have, okay.
well, this will be good tonight. I mean, people are listening and it'll go out in the papers and,
So will we make a signed offer contingent on all this
Correct.
stuff?
Yeah. That's what council suggested. And then,
Yeah.
the bond counsel who will do the bond law is a very specific type of law that not very many people do. There's kind of one primary guy left in the state, and I did speak with him. We'll make sure we have him look over everything that this firm that Kylie's having us work with. We'll have him look at it before anything gets sent out. So we make sure that we don't trip ourselves up for anything in the future.
Kylie had to push it off to somebody else because there's so many conflicts. Represents the town, she represents Wire in the past and
Yeah.
way back. So
Yeah, conflicts everywhere with certainly no response.
this way it'll be clean and
And they do have a guy on their firm that I guess he's the one who actually developed and wrote most of the realtor forms for the state of Wyoming. So they have a land guy in-house. They just don't have a bond counsel.
No.
So Rick Thompson would be the bond counsel out of Cheyenne. He's City of Casper. Everyone uses him at this point because he's been doing it forever. He's about the only guy left. But I've gone through that process before. It's just having the right people on board and everything is what makes it click. So, okay.
you guys notice in there, there was a cost to do the appraisals that Emery had lined out and everything.
Yeah, but it would be good to get the offer drafted and everything and get it accepted before we blow $4,000 on it.
Yeah, before we start spending money.
Yeah. It works with our timeline, so.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emery.
Very well put together.
And I'll probably kind of kick something like this out, at least, every 3 weeks or so, just so we can, there's a lot of moving parts to financing and everything. Make sure you guys are up to date with what's going on. Or if anything wonky changes, I'll get hold of you. We can have a special meeting.
Well, and I appreciate it getting ahead of time so that we kind of had a chance to look it over before the meeting.
Yeah, it's a lot to. Yeah, to sit here and read this and go, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one. And we don't have to do anything today on this next one. We had to skid steer kept kicking into park and there really, we didn't even move. So we took it up to Casper and they had to drag it off the trailer. Told Blaine to give me an estimate on it before they went ahead and fixed everything on it. So it was $4,500 to get it fixed, which isn't an end of the world amount of money. But the biggest thing with that machine that we have is it doesn't have the high flow hydraulics. So at some point would like to get a mill, a cold planer for asphalt. So if we got like a bumpy spot or something, we can just mill off a couple inches and then pave in that couple inches. Our machine won't run one of those that they sell or offer. So it's kind of a look at if that's something, a direction I want to move in, and they're willing to give us 22K on a trade in, to saving that $5,000 and putting it towards a new machine makes sense. So it's up to you. I would like to, very much like to get a mill at some point. This skid steer a new skid steer is part of that process. So this might have just pushed up the timeline, but it's up to you guys. We do have some money in capital equipment that would cover the purchase of the new one. If you guys want to mow it over, that's fine too. Wait till the next meeting, or
Do we want to look at different brands too, maybe?
I know those cold planers for Cat, I know they work, they're hydraulic. I can look around.
I know a lot of big construction companies are switching over to Kubota and a few other manufacturers and getting away from John Deere and Cat, some of them, just because of the expense of the equipment and the cost of parts and labor and.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from experience, you get away from cat iron, you're going the wrong direction. Is my thoughts on it.
I disagree with that, but
I've run a lot of Komatsu stuff. You don't want
years ago,
20
20 years ago.
No, I ran some up, they had a few up there.
I can poke around a little bit. That's not a.
I can see where it's easier to get a Cat mechanic to come fix it here.
The repair and maintenance relationship we've got with the guys is really, it's really convenient. Works really well. That's honestly probably my number one thing with having a Cat.
A lot to think about.
Said, hey, dude, skid steer is down. Can you, text him, can you get it in? Yeah, swing it on up. Make sure you give me an estimate. Boom, boom, boom. It's just smooth and easy. Now that can change. Somebody get somebody else in there, things can get really good. But working on the backhoe, dealing with this, it's been pretty flawless. And the new one is running like 131 for that size. It's about, which it's like a lot of money for us. Yeah. 750 hours for that pretty fat reduction in cost seems to be the way to go, but we can hold off and wait till the next meeting. I can get some more.
Yeah, let us talk amongst ourselves and.
Is the machine that's up there, is it a track machine or a tired machine?
Tired machine.
Even have a track machine?
No. That was with the mill, the tracks are a little more stable when you're grinding through.
Yeah, everywhere except for ice. That's about the worst part about a track machine.
Yeah.
That's the only, yeah, that's
But everywhere else, they're
the way to go.
But they're also, you usually only get track life's not that long.
Yeah, Tyler's
Rebuild them.
Yeah, 4 or 5, at least every probably 4 years is kind of what he figures he was getting out of his 4 or 5 years. I think that depends on how much you're working on asphalt, how much you're working on dirt.
Yeah.
I think you start working on asphalt all the time and turning it around, that life probably goes.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah, I'll do some poking around and we can just move it to the next meeting.
Okay. All right, thanks, Ember, on that.
Okay. A few things I wanted to kind of get on some of the bigger projects real quick. So on the West Bench project, me and Craig, we talked, figure we're about 80% complete with that project. They're wrapping up line B, doing a bunch of winter prep as far as flushing some lines out, cleaning up some piles, making sure that if winter comes, they're good to go. We have only one line left to do after that, line A. The one furthest to the north there in between Saratoga and Rochester, I believe is where we'll be. So that's going really well. We'll get another payout for that probably at the next meeting. We talked about getting squared up with everything after line B was done. So TAP grant project, the contract goes into effect January 1st. So the new two things coming up with that will be the environmental review for that project. So I'll get all those letters out and start working on that as soon as Jan 1 hits. And then we are required to do simple selection for consulting for the construction management and final completion of the design because it's federally funded. So I will be reaching out. We need to put together like a 4-person committee to select from YDOT's pre-selected consultants. The engineer who was on the project is on that list. And then we have to develop a criteria and pick 5 or so consultants from that predetermined list, rank them, and then make a selection. YDOT approves the selection and we carry on. There's no way around that with the funds being used, federal funds being used on the project. That's kind of the big ticket item there. Tour River Crossing project, we're working on the permitting package. We're going across the river, and then we had a meeting with DEQ about crossing project itself and if their permitting division was going to have any issues with us going across or at the angle we were going across. And they didn't bring anything up except the pipe material. They're looking at like they want to have us do a metal pipe, and then we can run a liner through it. We're going to go back to them and probably have a discussion about getting a variance on that. So, because if we're going to have to anchor it with concrete due to the weight, it doesn't really make any sense to require us to have to do metal pipe. So, Rivergate Park, I've got the bid manuals for the 3 split up. Well, I got the first one. The other 2 are supposed to be coming the next couple of days for the restroom, the concrete, and the landscaping. I'll review those, and then we figured we just at this point wait till after the holidays to start advertising. So that way people are paying attention and stuff. You have any questions on the park? Okay, we did have a discussion, I guess this kind of be under the Joint Powers Board, about the water tank. Did you guys all have time to look at that report in your package? So we want to proceed probably next fall with a corrosion remedy project. We don't think everything on there. EPA doesn't bring up like probably 70% of what was on that list. So until somebody else says, does those items start adding up? I think we need to do, we talked about doing the anodes, repairing the liner, spraying a new liner on the inside, and then fixing any rusty spots on the outside, and then doing the foundation as far as just making sure all the cracks are sealed. So that's kind of preliminary. We'll have to do some estimates and stuff, but that's kind of what we were looking at doing. Is the last time they lined it's lasted good. 20 plus years since they lined it last time. So it's due. So, but I think we got good life out of the last investment. They said we protect that thing and hold on to it. Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I've been working with Jan to kind of say geared up today and Brenda to make sure we get everything switched over. The new sewer billing on the EDU table. So that hits off just shortly after the first of the year. So that'll be good. That's all I got. Planet or Public Works questions.
Any questions?
No.
Sorry, guys.
So what have you been doing in your spare time? Okay, you want to move on to your planning and zoning?
Yeah, so Johnny submitted a letter of interest and we have other letters of interest. So if we could do some appointments, that would.
Yeah, would you read Johnny's, please, or I can?
Please accept my request to be considered for a new term on the Saratoga Planning and Zoning. I've enjoyed participating and have learned just what is involved in this process for our citizens of Saratoga. Co-members on the committee work together very well in reviewing all processes involved in the process. Although also working with the town council and staff at the city hall have really made P&Z go smoothly. Sincerely, Jack.
I think they're doing a great job. I would like to appoint a call girl. Can't think of her last name.
Jodell.
I want to say Henderson. That's
Jodell Holmes, right?
Oh,
yeah.
That was a long time ago.
And that's all of what's coming to me. Joe Dalhone and Johnny. Hello. that would be my appointment if the council is in favor of that. We do it tonight, there won't be a dead spot. They'll just move right on in for next term. And I think there's 1 2-year and 2 4-year. Am I correct?
I believe so. Advertisement,
There was 2 2-year and 1 4-year.
right.
And Johnny and
Jodell are the two.
2 2-year.
And then McCall would be up for another 4.
So that's my recommendation to the council. If I could get a motion, that's my appointment if the council's in favor of it.
I'd make a motion to reappoint all 3 of them.
Okay, have a motion on the table to appoint Jodell, McCall, and Johnny back to the planning and zoning. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Hey, I forgot to pull this up on the screen. Jen, is there any way you could just minimize that and go to the Microsoft Edge browser? Saratoga.org.
TOWN.
Yeah, if you go, yeah. Okay, so our zoning map that we built is live and interactive, and it's on the website. Right on the front page, there's a map tab. You can go to it, you can see the parcels, see the zoning. So that's up and going.
Good job.
Good job. Out pretty good, so.
Nice.
It's easy to get to right off the front page. So Jen was able to get the maps tab up there, and now if we add more maps in the future and everything.
Now we know why you didn't get your muffler fixed.
That's right. And that's all I got. Planning and zoning. Well, yeah, you guys, we skipped 890.
Would you, we gotta take a look at ordinance 890 on its second reading. Would you please read the title? This will be the Bennett zone change.
Saratoga ordinance 890, an ordinance amending the zone county designation for a portion of the land within the municipal boundaries of the town of Saratoga. As described herein from light industrial to heavy industrial, as well as authorizing the amending of the town's official zoning map and to providing.
Does the council have any questions on this? I have a motion to go ahead and approve ordinance number 890 on its second reading.
I'd make the motion to approve ordinance 890 on its second reading.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any additional discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay. And on your joint powers board meeting, joint powers covered that. The
Yeah.
Next meeting is December 10th.
14th, January.
Oh, wait a minute. You got one other thing, Department of Public Works material crush.
You're in the minutes there.
Oh. I'm in the wrong one. Sorry. Okay.
And he's in charge.
Water and Sewer Joint Powers Board is, the next meeting is January 14th, 2026, PM at PVCC. Okay. Move on to the Recreation Commission.
I don't have anything new to report. We haven't had another meeting, so since the last meeting. Next meeting is January 5th. 6 PM here at the Town Hall Chambers.
Okay. Saratoga Airport Advisory Board. Brenda?
Okay, there is a letter of interest for a chairman. This, letter right here, Lance wrote his letter of interest. And it says, Dear Mayor and Town Council, it was mentioned that my term is set to expire on the Saratoga Airport Board. If it pleases the town of Saratoga, it's my pleasure to serve an additional term. It's been a pleasure to serve our community, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity to continue working with such an amazing organization. Thank you for your consideration. Regards, Lance Rupp.
I would like to, at this time, go ahead and appoint Lance Grubb to the airport board. Now it's all up to you guys.
I'd make the motion to reappoint Lance Grubb.
I have a motion to reappoint Lance Grubb to the airport board. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Okay. Is that all?
They also talked about connecting the sewer, and a couple of hangar owners are interested. They want to talk to Emery about what they have to do to both the sewer.
The sewer is connected, isn't it?
I mean,
Hangars. Oh, okay.
And LAD is working on getting de-icing equipment out there. And they're looking into getting self-serve fuel out there. Their new website is up and running. It's SaratogaJetCenter.com, and it is really nice. I'll take a look. We linked it to our website, so the cameras are all out there too. And landing fees for November were $4,375. Total for the year through November is $171,775. That's good.
Yes.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda. That was SaratogaJetCenter.com. Thank you. Anything else on that?
No, that's it.
Okay. We'll move on to the South Central Wyoming Medical Service Board. We have board member Steve Martin here with us tonight. And please come forward.
Thank you. How you doing, Steve?
Good, how are you?
Doing well, buddy.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Councilman. Thanks for your time and opportunity to speak to you. And forgive me for not being here any sooner. So I think from now on, if you guys are okay with a quarterly visit, I can happily attend quarterly. If you need me before or after, or need me to come any more than that, please let me know. I'm happy to do so.
I think that would work. Just come in once in a while and let us know how things are going.
You bet. I do have a hard copy of the fiscal year 26 quarter one report. I would prefer to send you guys electronic stuff if that's what you want, but I don't know what you want. So I need a point of contact and someone to speak to. Yeah. So I can get you everything electronic and then communicate that way moving forward if you guys are okay with that.
That's pretty much what everybody else does.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
that would be fine.
Just to kind of summarize, the biggest thing out of quarter one is Staten resigned. I'm sure you all know that. So we're currently looking for a director to replace Staten. We've had 4 people interested. We've had 2 interviews, 2 criminal backgrounds. So we're on our 4th person now. January 19th, we'll interview another director who seems pretty solid. And we've already done a background check up there criminally. So we're looking forward to bringing JT out from North Carolina and seeing if he is a good fit for SHWIM's director. Paramedic, he's got a lot of great accolades, been around a long time, so he fits the mold. There's a couple things that I kind of wanted to get into, and in my experience, whether it be military or leadership, I'm new to the SHWIM's board, but I can tell you that there's some underlying tensions between North Platte Valley Medical Center and the fire district.
And who?
The fire district.
Okay.
So as you all know, I'm new to Saratoga, so I don't know a lot of people. But as I sit in these meetings, I'm starting to see some things fester, whether it be McFadden Fire or Elk Mountain, responses to the Interstate 80, Hannah. There's a lot of underlying tensions there that I think that just needs to be brought to your attention. And the biggest reason for that is just acknowledgement. I'm trying to work through the SHWIM's board to figure out where all this stems from and what the major issues are. I couldn't tell you what those are right now. From my standpoint, it seems like a lot of grudges from years past. But the reason for this is because the Rural Health Transformation Fund is about to be divvied out. And you're talking about $500 to $800 million to the state of Wyoming over a 5-year period. This is extremely important, particularly for EMS.
but also for critical access hospitals like Memorial and like North Platte Valley. It's even more critical for community members. I'm sure we've all have experiences of ambulances not arriving or arriving very slowly. And we all know that there are major issues when it comes to staffing a volunteer service. So $500 to $800 million over a 5-year period is pretty significant across the state. I'm not quite sure how the bureaucrats will deal the money out. The Department of Public Health has been very adamant about actually having it for long term, meaning they want to throw it in some kind of savings account and keep it and build off the interest over the years. Not that it matters. I don't like that idea. I prefer that we get that money working for communities like Saratoga and Schwims in particular, as well as North Platte and Memorial Hospital. Because I've been here a while, long enough, and I've also been in the emergency room at that hospital, and we need the money now. So biggest thing I wanted to bring to your attention was just, there's a lot of money coming up. It's extremely important for us to keep our eye on the ball on that. And it's very important for us to be one team, one fight for that money in this valley. So North Platte Valley, the fire district, and Schwims. I don't know what it looks like. Like I said, I'm still pretty new, but we got to get our poop in a group pretty quickly here because they're going to make a decision by the end of this month. And they're going to start divvying out this money in January. There are some issues that I'm unaware of. I don't know a lot of folks. I'm basically coming to the council just to say if there's anything that you know or have heard, you know, behind closed doors or behind the scenes that could help me build the bridge on this, I'd greatly appreciate it. Because to me, at the end of the day, it matters about every one of us in this community. And I've been in that emergency room. I've been with Schwims. There is a need big time for this money and for all of us to be on the same page and act cordially to one another to try to help the community. It's not about pride and arrogance. It's not about who's got the most money or who has the biggest title. At the end of the day, this comes down to the patient. And that's what I want to reiterate.
What's the board's feeling on that? Or is there friction on the board or?
For Schwims board?
Yeah.
No, there's not any, as far as together, no. There are some issues in the way of when you talk about being other places, fire and EMS are essentially consolidated. Fire tends to get all the resources and all the money. It's just how it's always been. Ambulance services, particularly in Wyoming, don't. Ambulance service in the state of Wyoming is not even considered essential. Thank you. And so there's no money, there's no funding. So all of this has to just come from donors, fundraising, whatever. Whereas the fire side, they get a lot more money in terms of running equipment, having resources, having everything they need to do their job. And the biggest thing too is just getting people to do it. It's hard to get volunteers. One of the things I've been talking about at the Schwims board is just trying to get full-time staff, enough to have 2 ambulances full-time. Potential possibilities are having a hospital take over the ambulance, having Memorial Hospital have a county-wide EMS. Not trying to say Schwims can't do anything or hasn't tried, but I'm trying to just bring to light the fact that there's a lot of, as a new guy, I'm seeing a lot of animosity towards each other. And at the end of the day, the one that pays is the patient. And I want to try to minimize that as much as I can. And I'm here just to bring it to light, just so that we can have a conversation, an honest, transparent conversation about what it might look like to you guys from the town's point of view, what it looks like from us, from Schwims. I'd like to get North Platte Valley involved. I'd like to get the fire side involved as well, so we can have a transparent conversation, because I just don't think that's going to happen if we just keep going the route we're going.
Favor of that? What, how many volunteers do we have here down?
Well, we have about 50 on record, but I think only about 28 that are involved. You have to do 30 hours and I think only half of those are getting those hours in. So we do have a lot. We do have some resources. Again, not to get into the weeds, that's why, but we do have a couple paramedics that are available. But due to history, due to this and that, they haven't been involved with swims. Again, I'm a new guy. I think there's some history here and there with some of these folks and some animosity about bringing some of them back. We don't have any paramedics on staff currently with swims. So I think as a PA, I think that's a major downfall. We do have EMTIs, and there's a very slight difference between an EMT intermediate can do versus a paramedic. But generally, a paramedic has been there, done that, has a T-shirt, all those things. So we are trying in swims. We're interviewing directors. We're trying to get people motivated. Depending on who's around, I've found, depends on how many people will come work for swims, how many people will volunteer. There's some grudges that are out there, and I'm not trying to be negative, but at the end of the day, being transparent about where we're at, I think it's best for everybody to know that depending on who's running the show will depend on how many volunteers you have. And I think we just need to get past that, and I'm asking for help on that. Because I think there's a lot of things that go on in the town well before Steve Martin got here that is hindering patient care at the end of the day. So there's an opportunity to get some money. The Department of Health in the state of Wyoming recognizes that EMS is one of those areas that the money needs to go to. And I think that'll help considerably depending on how they disperse it and how much we get. But at the end of the day, I think we got some inner working fixes to do. And I think we just need to all get on the same page and have a sit down and a discussion. And just as an example, I've reached out to some board members on North Platte. I've reached out to the CEO of North Platte, nothing. It just seems to be that depending on who's reaching out is who's responding. And I think that in order for us to take care of the patient, that we all need to put our big boy pants on and just come to the table and have a discussion. So
are you asking us to reach out, try to set up a meeting?
Well, and I was thinking maybe a committee, pull together something that each of these organizations could represent and that the town could also be a part of, kind of as a neutral body to help with communication.
Okay. Well, I think we could do something like that because, I've heard some complaints about EMS. Heard good things about them too. But yeah, we need to, very important in this valley. Not just here, but in Encampment, Oak Mountain.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I heard that some of the EMS problem in Elk Mountain, the volunteers are getting tired of going out on the interstate. Now, that's hearsay.
Sure.
And I could see that in the wintertime. I'd be kind of tired of going out on Interstate 82.
Well, not long ago, we had an EMT die.
Correct.
So, I mean, so part of that is fire is very important because fire establishes some protection to the EMS crews and the patient. They've got the big rigs, there's a certain licensed way they train these folks to park these things on the interstate. So it's a team effort in all circumstances. And to have an EMT die and for everyone to kind of be in this mode of, I'm in it for my best interest, we really got to start focusing on the patient.
Well, if the council will be okay with it, I'd like to sit down with Steve and put together a few ideas and see what we can do. I'll reach out to the people I know in Cheyenne about this money. I'll reach out to Wham, see what's going on there, see what they can tell me about it. And, what we actually need to do. I haven't heard about this money coming through. I have heard a lot of complaints about ambulances in the state of Wyoming not having money, it's not just here, in other places too. You know, your larger towns like that, you know, Casper and Cheyenne, Sheridan, they don't have the issue. It's the smaller town, you know, and I'll just throw one out. Tinsley has a little bit of effort there, trying to get somebody at times. And, so the council's in favor of that. I'll sit down, I'll keep everybody aware of what's going on, and I'd like to sit down and get some more ideas from Steve. But I don't have a problem putting together a committee with one of us on it and, see if we can bring everybody to the table and have a intelligent conversation about this.
And you used to be a EMT or work on the ambulance crew or something? You got connections, you might maybe know
I've
some.
been out of it for a while.
Yeah.
I was an EMT for a while, yeah.
So that's something we can look at. We might be able to,
Yes,
to
sir.
help out.
Yep, I appreciate that.
If we can, you know, make it a better place.
Yep. Yeah, it's an initiation. I mean, I think we've got a long road ahead of us, but I think the more we can get involved and start having honest conversations, I think the better we'll be.
So you're looking at some of the money, are you thinking about to hire people full time?
It's the talk with Schwims, if we get the money to try and hire full-time folks. It would obviously benefit our situation without having to lean so much on volunteers who have done an absolutely amazing job volunteering in this valley. But it just makes sense to have
There's
full-time.
no doubt it's probably one of those benefits that would not pay for itself.
Correct.
You know, I don't think there'd be enough runs to pay for itself.
Yeah, I think I think if I remember, I think we're about 340 runs a month, 911 calls. So it's a pretty decent amount for a small town. And you know, the other thing about with North Platte is transfers. Because, you know, having been there and how difficult it is to get people out of North Platte to different places. So it's a strain on Schwims folks to go 8 hours round trip and be out of service that long and then have people out of service that long when they're taking a transfer from the hospital.
Well, as long as there's one in town, I don't have a big issue. One remains in town all the time, but I hope Schwims uses that, you know, it can't go on a transit if it means no ambulance in the valley.
Well, it's true that we have gotten to that point, but part of that is because we don't have a paramedic. And so, you know, volunteer wise, you're limited. Most of the transfers coming out of this ER are ALS, meaning they need a paramedic or at least an EMT intermediate, and very few of those. And so it's a lot more difficult to get that out of the emergency department. And then if we only have the director as a paramedic, we can't always just take the director out of his position to go on an 8-hour round trip to Anschutz or Denver or wherever. Yeah. This is just an initial starting point, I think. In my time in the military, I've found that if you let something fester and you know what's going on, it's a way bigger problem to clean up later.
Yeah.
I think it's probably good that we just, at least people know where we're coming from. And everybody can get into having some transparency, and then we can come to the table and say, what do you want? What do I want? Those types of things. And, you know, that honesty and transparency goes a long way.
Okay. Let's see what we can do as a council. In fact, okay with that?
Yes.
All right. We'll see what we can do and going forward, and I'll get with you in a day or so.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.
Okay, if you want to read them, they're meeting minutes and special meeting minutes are attached. Is there any new business to be brought before the town? Do I have a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I would make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?